Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the United States of America. It is a bright and sunny, it's almost noon. It's 11:50 here in southwestern Pennsylvania. It is a beautiful day. It is June 3rd, 2026, and you know what that means. It's game one of the NBA Finals. And man, we are back like it's 1999. It feels like 1999, doesn't it? Because the Broncos are good at football. Yeah? Won the Super Bowl in 1999. They almost made the Super Bowl this past season. No, it's because it is the Spurs and Knicks in the finals. The Spurs hosting the Knicks tonight in game one. Cannot wait for it. Um, and later on, I want to make a 7-game prediction and prediction for the Finals MVP. We're going to get into that a little bit later. First, I want to introduce myself. My name is Matthew Gorby. I am going to be a junior now at Coastal Carolina University. I am a criminal justice major, former journalism major. This was kind of a thing that I wanted to do on the side for a while now. But it's time since I'm back home, not doing much. Let's start something new. I want to say thank you to all that are coming from my private Snapchat story, Matt Sports Analysis. All 70 of you. I don't know how many people are on there, but I appreciate you guys engaging with me all the time, talking sports. And hey, if you ever want to do a podcast together, do an episode together, let's do it. Let's talk ball for an hour or two. Let's shoot the shit. There's nothing I like to do more than talk some ball, which is what we're about to do. Some crazy things have happened in the NFL these past few days. Free agency and trading wise, stuff like that. Odell Beckham Jr. goes back to the Giants. We all remember OBJ in his prime in New York for those, 4 or 5 seasons. I think he only played 4 because he was hurt for the 1 year. But man, OBJ back to the Giants. That's really fun. The Giants should be a really fun team this year. I think their defense is going to be good. That Arvell Reese draft pick was big. It sucks they traded Dexter Lawrence, but that's how they got that other draft pick. Hopefully their offensive line is better. I think Jackson Dart, we'll see how good he is. He can do what he was doing last year. I think they should be fine, play a little bit better. We'll see how their run game is. I can't wait. I cannot wait for this Giants team next year. They should be a lot of fun. Myles Garrett got traded to the Rams. That's kind of the biggest thing that happened. Former Defensive Player of the Year, just won Defensive Player of the Year last year after having the most sacks in a season. Good for him. Sucks for Jared Verse, though, who was a recent draft pick for the Rams in the last few years. Went to Florida State. Great career there. And he is now going from Los Angeles, a Super Bowl contending team, and not only that, but Los Angeles, to Cleveland, which really sucks. By the way, I don't want to diss on Cleveland. I don't want to diss on Cleveland because I know there's a lot of good people in Cleveland, and I'm also a Cavs fan. Go Cavs. Sucks we just lost to the Knicks. We just got swept, but we're not going to talk about that yet. We're still talking about football. And that really does suck for Jared Verse. Going from LA to Cleveland, hopefully he learned a thing or two. He also got a first round pick was in the package and a second and a third round as well. Alex Highsmith got extended 4 years, $100 million to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Looking forward to that. He's a great player. Good for the Steelers. Good for him. He deserves that money. Good for the Steelers, locking him down. Especially you don't know what TJ Watt's future looks like. So that's really fun. And also, 2 days ago, A.J. Brown, it was official, got traded to the Patriots for a 2028 first-round pick. The Eagles were looking to trade him. This was honestly a thing like 3 months ago. Everybody knew he was going to the Patriots. It just was a matter of time. June 1st was when it was going to happen. And it happened. And A.J. Brown is now in New England. Drake May got his wide receiver 1, and good for them. Also, by the way, did we see the new cover for College Football 27? It's got Dante Moore, it's got Kewan Lacey, and it had who is the other guy? Now I'm blanking. Malachi Tony, that's right. How can I forget Malachi Tony? Who, by the way, fumbled twice against Ohio State. I'm pretty sure he recovered both of them, though. That's going to have been huge in that game. Sucks we didn't beat them. But anyway, we're not going to get into that. Um, the cover for, and somebody said this yesterday, the cover that's like the deluxe edition, it has Signetti in the front, it has Dante Moore, Malachi Tony, Leonard Moore, Jordan Mailata, and Texas receiver. Is that Ryan Wingo? Is that Ryan Wingo, I think, number one for Texas? I think. It's a decent cover, but somebody said that it looks like a 2000s comedy movie poster, and it does. It really does. It looks like a comedy movie poster that would be from 2002. It really does, and I cannot get that out of my head. But like the main cover, it features Dante Moore, quarterback for Oregon, Malachi Tony, wide receiver for Miami, and running back for Ole Miss, Kewan Lacey. Uh, Really interesting. Oh, I'm an idiot. It's not Ryan Wingo. Is Ryan Wingo even still on Texas? I'm a fucking idiot. Is he still a receiver? Yeah, he's still on Texas, right? He's a sophomore? Oh, I thought he was a junior. He's number five, though. Number one's Colin Simmons. That's right. He is the edge rusher for Texas who's going to be badass this year. He doesn't look that big in that picture. Leonard Moore, though, also on it, by the way. He is going to be a stud once he gets to the league. He's going to be a top five corner, I think. Leonard Moore, that is. Jaden Mayava, not Jordan Mayava. I'm sorry. Jaden Mayava, quarterback USC. I thought his name was Jordan. I thought his name was Jordan. Does AI have that wrong? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm definitely wrong. I don't know. But yeah, it's Jaden. I'm an idiot. It's not Jordan. I'm sorry. For all the USC fans out there that I just offended, I am very sorry. And it is Jaden Mayava. He's a great player too. Can't believe I got his name wrong. Elmi. But anyway, let's get back to business. So there's the college football cover. By the way, I don't care that it looks like a 2002 comedy movie poster. I am 100% getting it. I love college football and I love gaming, so we're gonna buy that shit when it comes out. Of course we are because we bought the last two, so we're definitely getting this. And I'm probably gonna get Madden 27 too, because I'm literally just I love Madden, and I can be such a slut for Madden sometimes. But um, yeah, can't wait for College Football 27 to come out, even though the cover kind of sucks. But I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I think it was a good choice for the players. But the deluxe edition, I think I don't want to stare at Kurt Signetti's big ass fucking face and forehead, when I look at the game. So I might just be getting it online, hopefully. Uh, but anyway, can't wait for college ball this year though. Ohio State. Hopefully we can get back into the Natty, win the Natty. It's obviously, the 2024 win was great, or 2025, I should say. You guys know what I'm talking about. That team was great. I knew we were so good. I knew even after that Michigan loss, we were going to be tough to beat. But that Michigan loss really fueled us. I'm sorry, I don't even know why I'm saying their name. That team up north, but that loss really fueled us. I think to really to go on that run in the playoffs. I think we still would have won either way. I just think our team was. I think we were too stacked that year. We had too many guys on defense that were third and fourth year guys that played with each other for that long. Plus we just had a grown ass dude at quarterback. We had our running backs were unbelievable. Our receiving core, not to mention Jeremiah Smith and Mecca Ibuka. All those guys really. Carnell Tate, just that was an amazing team. Last year's team I knew was good, but I knew we were young. I knew when it came playoff time we were gonna struggle. Now I didn't know we were gonna lose to Miami, but we did. Miami was a great team. I did not want to overlook them. I knew it was gonna be a tough game. But man, obviously a tough loss last year in the playoffs. But I'm really looking forward. I'm looking forward to see how Texas plays. I'm looking forward to that OSU at Texas game week 2. Can't wait for that in prime time. Everybody kind of complaining it's a night game, and last year's Texas Ohio State game was a noon game. I honestly don't care. You know what? Let's beat them on their home turf in prime time. There's nothing that I'd like more than that is to beat them in prime time on the road. So yeah, Tyler, if you're hearing me, fuck Texas. We're gonna beat your guys' ass. But yeah, can't wait for it. And let's talk some NBA Finals now. This is like, the creme de la creme. This is why we came here. NBA Finals, game one tonight, Spurs versus Knicks. Let's talk about the Spurs, how they got here, and how the Knicks got here, quite frankly. So the Spurs, they have the Defensive Player of the Year and third year just anomaly, Victor Wembanyama, who is going to probably run the league for the next 12 years if he stays healthy. But he is a phenomenal player, and he led the San Antonio team. With not only him, though, they got some really good young guards. Stephon Castle, who got drafted in 2024. Dylan Harper, who got drafted this past draft. He's a rookie. They got size, they got speed, they got De'Aaron Fox, who's literally speed. Keldon Johnson. Devin Vassell. I mean, these guys can hit shots. They can play defense. They're fast. They're physical. This Spurs team is everything you want in a championship contending team. They went 62-20. They finished second in the West. Getting here was not too easy though. The first round was actually, I don't know why I'm saying actually. It was their easiest round, which is kind of, you expect that if you're the 2 seed. They beat the Trailblazers in 5 games. They lost game 2 of that series at home, but then they went on and they had some injury problems. I think Wemby was out for game 2, actually. I think he got hurt at the end of game 1, if I remember correctly. And then their second round was against the Minnesota Timberwolves, which was a great series. It ended in 6. It was actually in game 6 when the Timberwolves got knocked out. Anthony Edwards went over to their bench with like 8 minutes left, and the game was a blowout. He literally dapped up all of San Antonio's bench. I mean, I'm talking coach, players. There's probably a fan he dapped up. I mean, he was dapping up everybody. He should have just dapped up everybody in San Antonio. But he he lost that game. The Timberwolves lost. It was a blowout. Spurs moved on. That was a great series. Some great games in that series for sure. But overall, the Spurs just had too much for the Timberwolves to handle. Can't wait for Minnesota to be back, though. I love Anthony Edwards. I do. I really like Anthony Edwards. I enjoy watching him more than I do SGA. I do. And I think most people do. In fact, we're going to get to that in just a sec. Actually, we're going to get to it right now because the Western Conference Finals featured a grueling 7-game series between the Spurs and Thunder. And by the way, I think the Thunder get a lot of hate. I think they get too much hate. Do I think people hate them because SGA flops? They might think they do, but no, they don't. Do they care? Do they hate them because the refs are always on their side? They think they do, but it's not. Do they hate them because they're dirty? No, they think they do, but they're not. The reason people hate the Oklahoma City Thunder is because they are really good. And that is how it is in sports. It's the same thing with the Kansas City Chiefs, what we saw. Everybody just started hating them, and just every single time they won a game, the refs would be blamed. But no, it's because they are a great team. And that's kind of how it is in sports. Everybody hates, just watch. The Spurs right now, once they beat the Knicks in these finals, which I don't know if they are or not, but let's say they do, they're going to be that team in whether next year or the year after that. You might think Victor Wembanyama is loved now. Just wait 2 to 3 years. People are going to start turning on him once they start winning a lot. So there's that. Anyway, the Spurs beat the Thunder in 7 games, just in a great series. Great series, so many great games, a few blowouts, but some great games, really. Shout out SGA in Game 7. It seemed like he was by himself that game. He was great. Jalen Williams was hurt. I think if Jalen Williams was healthy, they probably would have beat the Spurs in this series. But he wasn't, so we don't know. The Spurs won the series. They're headed to the finals. And I'm glad they did because they're a great team. They deserved it. I think the Thunder would have deserved it just as much. I think the Thunder versus Knicks would have been just good of a series. But yeah, the Knicks, they have had like an opposite path. I mean, their first series was their toughest. They won in 6 games against the six-seeded Atlanta Hawks, a series where they were actually down 2-1 at one point. And CJ McCollum made them lock in, I guess, because they have now won 11 straight playoff games. They won the last 3 against Atlanta. They swept Philadelphia in a series that I thought was actually going to be good because Philly took Boston to 7 and they beat Boston. So it's like, okay, this is probably going to be a good series. Well, I was wrong. The Knicks just fucking obliterated the Sixers. They won in a sweep. And I will never forget game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. It was just so unbelievably sad, but I blame myself because that whole game, the first, I don't know, pretty much the first half I listened to on the radio because I was actually coming back from New Jersey. I listened to on the radio. Then once we got back and we had to drive to my house, I listened to it. I watched it on my phone. And then once we got back to my house, as soon as I turned it on the TV, like Donovan Mitchell, that's when he hit that 3. As soon as he hit that 3, everything went downhill from there. We went up by 22. And everything went downhill from there. I mean, everything right happened for the Knicks. Everything wrong happened for the Cavs. It was just brutal collapse. And I think if we win game 1, I think the series would have went to 6 or 7. I'm not saying we would have won. The Knicks probably still would have ended up winning the series, even if we won game 1. But I think the series would have been way different. I think the Cavs, that just took everything out of their soul, really, losing that game 1 and choking that game. But you live and you learn. And we'll see what the Cavs do this offseason. Looking forward to it. But what I'm really looking forward is tonight, game 1. Let's get into game-by-game predictions. Game 1, the Knicks, who have gotten a lot of rest over this past week, as it's been a while since they last played. What was it? Memorial Day they last played. So it's been over a week now. It's been 9 days. So they might be rusty like they were in, the first 3/4 of the game, 3/4 and so on of the game against game 1 against the Cavs, where they looked rusty. But I don't think they're going to be rusty tonight. I think they're going to come out shooting the ball well. I think the Spurs are going to come out a little bit tired and bruised and battered a little bit from their 7-game series against the Thunder. So I think the Knicks are going to take game 1 tonight, 113-106. I think the Knicks go in there tonight. I think they shoot the ball well. I expect OG Anunoby to shoot the ball well. Landry Shamet, Josh Hart. I think Brunson's going to have a great night tonight. And I think it's going to be a great game. I don't think the Spurs are going to necessarily show up flat or anything. I think both teams are going to play well offensively and defensively. It's going to be one of those games, 113-106. It's going to be a fun one to watch for sure. Game 2, however, I think the Spurs come back. I think they win 118-101, 17 points over the Knicks. I think at one point in that game, they're going to be up by almost 30. I think it's going to be a blowout win for the Spurs. I think they're going to come back. Wemby's going to have a big game. Knicks are going to struggle to shoot the ball. Game 3 in Madison Square Garden, tied at 1. So the series shifts to New York. I think the Knicks win their first NBA Finals game back in Madison Square Garden since 1999. I think they win 125-97 in a blowout win over the Spurs in Game 3. I think the Spurs are going to shoot the ball poorly. I think the Knicks are going to come out on fire at home. Game 4, I think it's going to be the closest battle we have all series. I think it's going to be the closest game, but I also think it's going to be the game where the teams shoot the worst. I think it's going to be 93-90. Spurs win. They come out on top. It's going to be a low-scoring defensive battle. The teams aren't going to shoot well. And in Game 5, I have the Spurs beating the Knicks to go up 3-2, 107-97. And in Game 6, I have the Spurs closing the series out. I have them winning 3 straight games to do so. Games 4 through 6, I have them winning Game 6, 115-108. And the Finals MVP, drum roll please, Victor Wembanyama. Who else would it be? It could be Stephon Castle, could be Dylan Harper, could be De'Aaron Fox. But no, it's going to be Victor Wembanyama if the Spurs win. That's my NBA Finals prediction. Really quick though, let's talk a little bit about baseball. I haven't been watching a lot of baseball this season. I've been keeping up with the Mets, of course, but I haven't really been watching them as much. They've been doing poorly. Well, let's talk baseball. I'm just going to go through a quick run through of the standings. We'll go a little bit more in depth maybe another time. But we're just going to go through the standings right now. Let's go American League East. We got Tampa Bay Rays, 36-22. I knew they were doing good, but I didn't know they were doing that good. It seems like the Rays are always a team that does pretty well. I don't think they made the playoffs last year, but they're always a team that is either in the playoffs or right around making the playoffs. And they don't always have the biggest names, right? They're a small market team that they just, for some reason, always pitch well and they always just hit well. It's really weird. Yankees right behind them at 36-24. They've been playing well at home and on the road. By the way, the Rays 21-8 at home. Very good record. Orioles and Blue Jays right behind them at 29-32. Red Sox last in that division at 25-34. The ALC, the American League Central Guardians, who just seem like they're always good too. They're always in the playoffs or at least fighting for a playoff spot. Sort of like the Rays, another small market team. A lot of these American League teams, small market teams. American League Central, that is. Pretty much the entire American League Central are made up of small market teams. I mean, it's kind of nuts. The Chicago White Sox, who represent the south side of Chicago, I believe is the south side. I hope I didn't get that wrong. They are second place in that division at 32-29. Played really good at home with a 20-11 record. Not so much on the road with a 12-18 record. Twins 29-33. Tigers 24-38. Royals 23-38. The Tigers have been a major disappointment this season. They've had some success in the last few seasons, but they have not this season. Let's see if they can turn it around. The ALW, the American League West, the Seattle Mariners first place in that division with a 33-29 record. Rangers behind them at 30-31. A's at 29-31. Astros having definitely a down year, 27-35. Angels seems like they're always having a down year, 23-39. Now, the National League has definitely some better top heavy teams, I would say. I would say the National League is honestly doing better than the American League this year. The Braves, who I definitely know about this year, they are just kicking ass. They're 41-20. They're 18-10 at home. They're even better on the road with a 23-10 record. That's the best road record in baseball. Unbelievable. They're playing just lights out, pitching, hitting, everything really. The Phillies, who had an awful start, just like the Mets. I mean, they were like tied with the Mets for a while. They've been playing a lot better over the past few weeks. They're now 2 games over 500, 31-29. The Nationals dead even in third place in the National League East, 31-31. That's like the most mid you can get. But they are 12-19 at home, and they're 19-12 on the road. So that's something to keep an eye on. If they can just start playing better at home, maybe they can get their record up. The Marlins in fourth place at 28-34, and the Mets right behind them at 26-35. Shout out my Mets. For those that do not know, I am a Mets fan. My teams are all over the place, which we'll get to in a second. But the National League Central, the Brewers having a great year. They're playing really good at home, 37-21. Pirates 33-28. Shout out the Pirates, man. They have just rejuvenated that lineup over the offseason. They can pitch, they can hit, they can do it all. Their bullpens can get shaky a few times, but they're a solid team. I hope they can make the playoffs this year. The Cardinals at 31-28, Cubs 32-29, and the Reds at 31-29. That is probably the best division in baseball, and that is, I feel like everybody's kind of been saying that. This is the best division in baseball, and it makes sense. All their teams are about 500. The Reds are in fifth place. They could be a playoff team. So yeah, really fun division there. The National League West, also a solid division from 1 to 3. Dodgers 39-22. Of course, they're always in first place, it seems like, in that division. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They've been playing well. Padres, always seems like they're in second in that division. They're 32-27, 6 games back of first place. Padres a half game back of San Diego, 32-28. Rockies 24-38. Giants 23-38. So yes, I am a Mets fan. Um, and we have had a disappointing start to this year. But of course, a lot of people don't mention how that losing streak we went on. Juan Soto was hurt. He got hurt. As soon as he got hurt, we went on that losing streak. Obviously, you don't want that to happen. You don't want to have your star player get hurt and then just prove that, oh, he literally is this whole team. No, you don't want that to happen. But since he's been back, he's been playing his ass off, and he's been playing really well. MVP-like numbers since he's been back. So he's been really fun to watch. I hope the Mets can turn it around, at least just go on a run here. Get to the All-Star break. If you can get within, 3 games under at the All-Star break, I'll be happy. I will be happy. Just keep playing like you're playing recently, and I think they could definitely do that. But anyway, so yeah, by the way, I don't know if I talked about this. If you are unaware, why did I say that? If you were unaware of my favorite team, yes, I'm a Mets fan. I'm also a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, also Denver Broncos fan, and college ball. I am an Ohio State Buckeye fan, but also go Chants, of course, as I am a Coastal Carolina student. But yeah, really looking forward. Very upset what happened at the end of the Broncos season. Bo Nix getting hurt. I'm still upset about that. There was no better feeling than when we beat Buffalo. We got our first playoff win in 10 years. And then 10 minutes later, I found out Bo Nix hurt his ankle. He's out for the season. Absolutely brutal. I think we would have beat New England if he was healthy. I think we would have beat New England if it wasn't a tundra, by the way. Would have been a great game. Would have been a great Super Bowl, I think, if the Broncos faced Seattle instead of New England, because New England pretty much got their ass kicked. But hey, shit happens. Broncos got their ass kicked against Seattle in 2014. So I can't really say anything. I cannot really say anything. But yeah, going back to the NBA though, I was definitely upset when the Cavs lost. By the way, I'm trying to say a million things at once, so I apologize. I know my teams don't make sense, especially, for me saying that I'm from Pittsburgh. I'm not a fan of any Pittsburgh teams. I apologize to all my fellow Pittsburghers. I still love Pittsburgh. It's my favorite city in the world, but, when it comes to sports, I'm not a fan. My heart was in other places when I was a kid. I loved Tim Tebow. I loved LeBron, and I was actually a Miami Heat fan when I was a really little kid, and then he went to Cleveland, so I became a Cavs fan, but I stuck with the Cavs even when he went to LA. So shout out Cleveland. Yeah, it's actually funny. Like I'm a fan of 2 Ohio teams, and I'm from Pittsburgh. It's kind of a sin a little bit to do that if you're from Pittsburgh, but I don't care. They even though they make me sad a lot. My favorite sports teams, they're still my teams. Ride or die, man, till the day I die. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. But hey, this has been a lot of fun doing this. I know this hasn't been too long. I eventually wanna do this longer, but this is just kind of a test run for episode 1. Hey, I have a lot of friends that are into sports. If you ever want to be, if you're one of my friends and you're listening to this, please hit me up. We'll meet up. We'll do a podcast together. We'll shoot the shit about ball for an hour or 2. It'll be a great time. We'll have some drinks. We'll order a pizza. And, yeah, but anyway, this was episode 1 back like it's 99. And this was Matt Gorby's Sports Analysis Podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. I want to say thank you for those that are coming from my private Snapchat story, Matt Sports Analysis. A lot of you guys make that a lot of fun, engaging, talking to me about sports. I wanted to kind of do this for a while now, do a show, but right now this is kind of just a test run, me talking, me shooting the shit about ball, and yeah, if you guys took your time to listen to this, took some time out of your day to listen to this, I really appreciate it. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys have an amazing Wednesday. And yeah, everybody stay cool.